being so late. I'm so far behind. I really have no excuse. I just haven't been doing it lately. Yeah, sorry. So, obviously back in Bordeaux now, so I thought I'd just do a little bit of a recap. So, I'm actually 3 weeks behind. So, ooh, sorry. So, this is week 19, 20, 21. And I'm going to just try to keep it, like, really short, because a couple of my friends and my family told me that I talk too much. It's like, oh, God, sorry. So, anyway, I'm going to try not to do that today. So, I wrote, like, a little, like, mini list, so hopefully I can get through it, like, really quick. Okay, so, week 19, 20, I was still in Vancouver visiting family and friends, and it was my sister's wedding, so it was a really great day. And I was totally fine the whole time. I wasn't sick or anything. I was worried about actually like having if I had to go to the bathroom while standing up there because I was one of the bridesmaids. So it wasn't a big deal. And actually my sister ended up having these like wooden kind of stool, well, like logs for all the girls to sit on. So that actually was really nice for me. So yeah, that was cool, helpful. And yeah, so the baby didn't kick too much, so I didn't have to. Yeah, so I didn't worry about the bathroom. So that was all good. And that also marked my 5 months, so that was kind of cool too. It was fun to be with our family and everyone be able to see my belly, and the baby was kicking a lot too, so lots of family and friends were able to feel my belly and feel the baby, so it was really cool. So we weren't able to know if it was like a boy or a girl before we left, like 100%. We were told 80% that it was a boy, but we didn't tell family, so it was kind of too bad. We're hoping to be able to do that, but yeah, but oh well. Yeah, and so then after the wedding, we just spent some more time with Lee's family, and we went to the aquarium one day, and then Lee's brother is in musical theater, so he did a performance. It was called Theater Under the Stars, and it's in Stanley Park. It's absolutely gorgeous venue. So it was kind of fun to go to that, and it was also our anniversary dinner for our 1 year, well, for Lee and I, for our 1 year wedding anniversary. And it was nice, the place that we actually had our wedding at. They gave us like kind of a voucher type thing for an entire dinner and drinks and everything paid for. So it was great. We were able to use that and kind of reminisce a little bit back to where we had got married, and and it was also happened to be where the wedding location like was on a little place like called Granville Island. It's not actually an island, but anyway, so that's actually where we had our first date too. So we walked around there, did some reminiscing, and it was kind of neat for me to be pregnant and think about future plans and think about, you know, where we were at that point, and we didn't really think that we'd be pregnant at this point. So anyway, it's kind of neat how things work out that way. Yeah, okay, so let's move on. So my husband ended up leaving earlier than I did, so I ended up going to Montreal for a little bit to visit my best friend, so that was really cool to see her, and to go to Montreal because I hadn't actually ever been. So flying to Montreal was pretty easy, but I had to have a later flight, but it wasn't too bad, and a friend come pick me up at midnight, and no big deal. It was so flippin' hot in Montreal, like I could not believe it. The high was 38 degrees with humidity of like ranging between 85 and 99% humidity. Like I didn't even know that was possible, like 100% humidity. Oh, so you basically like step outside and you're just drenched. Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced humidity like that, even in a tropical place. Like I don't even think it's been that humid before. So anyway, that was kind of hard to deal with while pregnant. And unfortunately, it did kind of like put a damper on me wanting to go and see the whole city because it was just so hot, and it always just like, oh, let's just go into the store, like, oh. So anyway, that was too bad, but I did get to see a lot of the city. We visited Old Montreal, which was really cool, and it was neat to kind of see the similarities between the European countries in France here, for example, in Bordeaux, and the buildings in that area of Old Montreal. So it was a very similar kind of lifestyle, like happened to be in that area. It was pretty touristy though. But really actually Bordeaux is so touristy right now too. All the tourists are coming in for the summer, so when I got home here to Bordeaux, it was kind of the same thing, tourist-wise. But anyway, and then the next day with my friend, we went to Ottawa, which was also a really beautiful city. And it did start to rain later on in the day, and it was funny, like, I hate rain, really hate rain, and I think I made that pretty clear the last, like, vlog I did. I was so thankful, like, this one time, I was just like, oh, thank you, God, it's raining. It was just so refreshing. So it was really funny that I was, like, so excited about it raining, but it just took the temperature down so much. So anyway, but that was really fun couple of days. I had a great time, and it was nice to be able to visit other parts of Canada, because I've really only been to, like, the province where I was born in BC, and then Alberta, the next province over. And the country is really big, so I mean, it would take a while to go see the whole thing, but anyway. So traveling on planes. I basically went on like 8 planes in the span of 2 weeks. So it was a little bit much. But I ended up being able to board early because I was pregnant. And it's funny that it's, I don't know, people kind of make a big deal about it. But everyone's getting on the plane. Like, it's not that big a deal to get on a little bit earlier. Just the one nice thing was that there was someone to help me put my bag up, because that really was just, like, not possible for me to do. If I wasn't pregnant, sure, but you really shouldn't be, like, using the muscles in your stomach area to carry such heavy things. And I was reading, and also my midwife told me too, that if you're carrying anything over 20 pounds and it's straining on, like, if you're using your stomach muscles, there is this possibility where you could, like, tear this kind of ligament that goes down the middle of your body, than your stomach, because your muscles when you're pregnant, they like tend to they like separate a little bit and they stretch out. And then when you have the baby, they go back again, or they're supposed to. But anyway, if you're carrying something that's really too heavy, you can actually pull that tendon, and you can like rip part of your muscle off. So it's actually like a really big deal. And I didn't really realize that. I just thought it was like people said, oh, don't carry heavy things just because you're pregnant. But I didn't realize it was that you could actually like rip your stomach muscle like away from your. Anyway, so make sure you're always having people help you with your bags, and ask for help too. Oh, one thing that I did notice, Canadians definitely have this stereotype, and I'm very proud to say that we have a stereotype that we're all like really, really nice and polite and stuff, and I totally think it's so true. Like, we've traveled quite a bit, and I've noticed how different cultures do different things, and in Canada, I had no problem like having to ask people to help me. Like, people were just offering right away, oh, you're pregnant, I'll help you, like, don't touch your bag, I'll get it. Like, it was so easy. Everybody was just like so willing to help. But then when I landed in France, people were willing to help, but I had to ask. So people weren't offering help freely. Like, I had to be like, oh, I'm pregnant, like, je suis enceinte, je dois aller, anyway, something like that. Anyway, and so people were like, oh, of course, of course. So after I asked, people were super nice and helped me, no big deal. But I did have to ask, which I noticed that was totally different, because in Canada, I flew like 4 times, and I didn't have to ask like once. Everyone just was so willing to do it. So, yeah. On the plane, though, I was actually quite frustrated with air transit. We were delayed by 8 hours, which was frustrating, but things happen. And I mean, it was to make sure the plane was safe. So I mean, I'd rather be on a plane that's safe than not. But still, so that was kind of annoying. But not really their fault, really. But on the plane, I was so frustrated because it's so dry on a plane, and so you need to be drinking water all the time, and especially if you're pregnant, like, you really need to stay hydrated. So I had to keep asking for water, and I was like, can I just have the water bottle? And she's like, oh, no, you have to pay for that. And I was like, okay, well, you're pouring the water from the water bottle that you open into a cup that I keep asking you to fill up, like, every 30 minutes. I'm like, can I just have the bottle? Like, it just seems so stupid that she wouldn't give it to me. And it was just kind of frustrating that, like, okay, look, I'm pregnant. Like, I'm not trying to be difficult. Like, I just, want some water. So in the end, they made me pay $2 for this water bottle that they were using to open to have everybody else give them drinks. Like, it was just so stupid to me. So anyway, that was frustrating. And there really wasn't a whole lot of food. Like, because our plane was so delayed, we were supposed to have a night flight. But because of the delay, it ended up being daytime in Bordeaux. So the way that the planes do it is they base the meal plan on when you arrive at your location. So we were supposed to arrive earlier in that morning. So we were supposed to have dinner on the plane and then breakfast on the plane. Because of the time change, we ended up just having like a snack basically. And I was like, it's still a long flight. Like, I'm freaking hungry. So that was really frustrating. Because I found on the flight to Canada with the Condor, it was great. Plus, I was upgraded, but still, like, there was food like every hour. So anyway, I wasn't really happy with Air Transit. I didn't really like them. But they were the cheapest, so yeah, anyway. Okay, back to my list. I'm going to make sure I talk about everything that I was wanting to talk about. Wow, I think I like really went through that pretty quickly. Oh, good. Speed talking. Okay, so let's talk about my symptoms in pregnancy right now. I sometimes don't even like have any symptoms at all. So I don't know, my energy is pretty good. Like, sometimes I get tired earlier than I would normally be, but still, like, I have my full energy. I can exercise, and I'm doing my yoga, and I really felt like that was helping my back a lot, because sometimes my back starts to hurt. So I'm feeling like my pelvis is really starting to like bend forward now. Yeah. So I don't really feel sick that often. Smells still bother me though. So if I get a whiff of something, like, I will gag, and I've thrown up a couple times. So yeah, I just have to be careful of that. I'm not sure if like any of you are still getting those kind of symptoms. Like, a lot of women, I have friends that I've talked to here, they're like, oh yeah, that only lasted the first trimester, and then it went away, and it seemed for the most part mine did, because my nose isn't as sensitive as it was in the first trimester. But when I smell things that are gross, I still like have to go and throw up. Like, yeah, actually, I was at my mom's house, and in Vancouver now, it's like mandatory to do compost, and that's kind of like a new thing. Anyway, so she had the compost in the pantry, and she just keeps it there till the end of the day, and then dumps it in the bin, like, yeah, in the evening. So anyway, the bin's sitting there, and I opened the cupboard to go get some food, and this waft of like what I thought was like a dead rat, and I was like, oh my god, Mom, like, what is that? And she's like, oh, it's just the compost, and they're all kind of laughing, and everyone's at home, and I just start gagging, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to throw up, I'm not going to, like, it's just a smell, like, I'll just walk away from the smell. But I ended up walking kind of further down the hallway, and to get to the bathroom, I need to, so anyway, there's somebody who's in the bathroom, and Ellie, my sister, had all her bridesmaids over doing, like, making things for the wedding day. So anyway, couldn't go to the bathroom to go throw up, and I was like, hey, just calm down, like, it's okay. But then I had to walk past the cupboard again to go into the kitchen, and I got the whiff again. And so I went and puked in the kitchen sink, and everybody's kind of thinking this is pretty funny, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess this is kind of funny, but seriously, like, the compost was so rank. So anyway, smells are still bothering me. And the baby's kicking a lot. I love it. Every time the baby kicks, I always just get so excited, and I kind of laugh because it's like my stomach will move a bit too. So we must have a pretty strong little baby. Because some of my other pregnant friends, they didn't actually feel kicks much until like the 21st and 22nd week, but I've already been feeling them since like week 17. So I've been feeling them like really early on. So I could be further along also than maybe I think, because some of my aunts were like, if you were this far along, you should be due like in end of October. And I was wondering if maybe France and Canada just calculated the weeks differently, because I know here that when I say, oh, I'm week 21, that means that I finished like my week 21. So I've finished it. So, but I know that in Canada, if you're week 21, you just starting it. So anyway, so here I'm basically like a week forward. But I think I did explain that earlier before. So each week that I talk about means that I finished it. So yeah, I don't know even what my due date is now. So I'm thinking it's supposed to be like November 30th, but at the sage-femme the other day, the midwife, she was like, oh no, it's November 25th. So I don't know, but I have to talk about I guess I'm going to my ultrasound next week, so I will figure that out. So yeah, okay, I'm done. That's it. So I'm really sorry that wasn't like probably that interesting to do with pregnancy, but anyway, so that was my week, my 3 weeks, and I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.